In the shadows of America's cities, there exists a network of violence so organized, so brutal, that it has spread fear across 2 continents. This is MS-13, the most feared street gang in the Western Hemisphere. But where did it come from? How did a small group of refugees from a civil war turn into a transnational criminal empire that even the FBI struggles to control? Today, we dive deep into the origins, rituals, and bloody reality of one of the world's deadliest gangs and uncover what life inside MS-13 truly means. Our story begins not in the US, but in the 1980s in El Salvador. A brutal civil war ripped the country apart, leaving thousands dead and even more displaced. When many fled to the United States, they carried with them not only trauma, but also survival instincts forged in chaos. In Los Angeles, Salvadoran immigrants faced racism, poverty, and gang violence from Mexican and African American groups. Outnumbered and outgunned, they formed their own gang for protection. They called themselves La Mara Salvatrucha, the street-smart Salvadoran gang. What began as self-defense quickly became something darker. By the early 1990s, MS-13 had become infamous in LA. They adopted tattoos as symbols of loyalty, cryptic numbers, devils, and machetes etched into their skin. Every mark told a story of violence, of fear, of belonging. But when the US government began deporting gang members back to Central America, the problem didn't go away. It spread. Deported members brought the culture of MS-13 to El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala, building new branches, recruiting poor and desperate youth. Soon, MS-13 became a transnational network, connected across borders, prisons, and entire cities. To join MS-13, there is no simple initiation. New recruits, often teenagers, must endure the 13-second beating, a brutal initiation where they are beaten by other members for exactly 13 seconds. Women sometimes face even darker initiation rituals, forced to prove loyalty in ways too disturbing to describe. Once inside, there's no leaving. Betrayal means death, not just for the member, but sometimes for their entire family. Members refer to the gang as La Familia. They live and die by its rules. The word Mara means gang, but within MS-13 it means something closer to religion, complete devotion enforced by fear. MS-13 quickly learned that fear is the most effective weapon. They became known for machete killings, public executions, and messages left on corpses designed to terrify both rivals and civilians. They control entire neighborhoods through taxes, extortion, and intimidation. In Central America, even the police are afraid to enter MS-13 strongholds. In the United States, they've infiltrated schools, communities, and even suburban areas, blending in until violence erupts. The FBI estimates MS-13 has over 10,000 members operating across more than 40 US states. Why would anyone join such a life? The answer is simple and tragic. Poverty, fear, family. Many members are children with no hope, no education, and no protection. The gang gives them what society denied them: power, identity, and belonging. Former members say joining the gang felt like finally being seen. But the cost of that belonging is eternal servitude to violence. The US and Central American governments have launched multiple crackdowns, mass arrests, RICO cases, anti-gang task forces. Yet MS-13 continues to adapt. Inside prisons, gang leaders still give orders. Outside, new generations rise, shaped by poverty and chaos. Some experts argue that the crackdown only made them stronger,
by forcing them to become more organized, more secretive, and more disciplined. Today, MS-13 isn't just a gang, it's a symptom of failed systems, forgotten communities, and generations raised in violence. You can fight the soldiers, but unless you change the battlefield, the poverty, the corruption, the hopelessness, the war will never end. Because for every gang member imprisoned, another child is waiting in the shadows, looking for a family that will take him in. And MS-13 is always waiting. This was MS-13 and Street Gangs in America, a story of loyalty, violence, and the human need to belong, even in the darkest places imaginable.